Okay, my friends, shocker du jour, President Trump, Elon Musk, DOGE, NASA is considering two options for Mars rock retrieval. They're up there. They want to spend like billions, and I'm talking multiple billions. So they're talking up to $11 billion to go pick these rocks up. And we're in a race with China. Do we use a sky crane or a heavy lifter? Let's see what they're going to go retrieve. I study biology extremely in depth, and I'm going to tell you right now, that's what they're going to retrieve, is biology. All right, my friends, this is going to be hard on everybody. There's going to be a lot of people displaced and changed, but there's going to be so much open to move into, because literally everything that we have known is going to change right now. Literally everything, from physics to history to chemistry, everything. I mean 100%. I'm not kidding you. Just keep your eye. Now, don't forget, this could cost up to $11 billion to go up, and years to do this, to retrieve these samples that they left up here. And these samples are nothing more than heart sarcomeres in biology. That is heart sarcomeres from a gigantic creature. We have them here on Earth, too. No difference between Mars and on Earth, except Mars was hit by Venus, destroyed it, wiped out the atmosphere, the water, everything, and all you have left now is red dust and eroding sarcomeres from just being dry and dusting off. These blocks are muscle sarcomeres. Not only that, Bennu is the same thing. All right, you see this? This is the secret to outer space and to everything. You say, well, what is that? That's heart sarcomeres. Every one of these little blocks is called a sarcomere. They're layered with a layer of phosphate lipids, phospholipids on the top and the bottom, slippery stuff so that they can squish in and out. They pull and contract, and that's how your muscle does this. This is a heart attack victim. It's torn here. But these are the sarcomeres. And why are they the key to everything? Well, let me show you why. All right, I'm going to show you a bunch of this stuff. Everything is layered in the body. That's just the way it works. And these are sarcomeres. And the red stuff is the bloody stuff. It erodes. The whitish stuff is the connective tissue. It remains. This is how wrong geology is. They say this took over millions and millions of years. Eroded. No, it does not. That's insanity. Sediment. Crazy. These are layers of sarcomeres. Here's some more insanity. Those are the sarcomeres I showed you. These are the sarcomeres from up on Mars. These are the sarcomeres they just returned back to Earth with from Bennu. I've been blocked from NASA to talk about this. This is the phosphate layer underneath, which, the phosphate surprise, we never expected that. No, because it's a layer of membranes, phospholipid membranes. Then comes the sarcomeres, then another layer of membranes, and the sarcomeres. Here they are right there. They came back with this. It's the same chemistry. It's got amino acids. It's got the same stuff you got in RNA and DNA. It's got all the same minerals and metals. It's got moisture, and it's got sarcomeres and membranes. And they refuse to engage. I was on a live thing with NASA the other day. I was a little aggressive, but they blocked me. I said, you got a heart there. You got to look at it. It's a heart. And then they let me post a couple little clips, but it goes by fast, so nobody sees it. So I did it again, and then I got blocked. All right, so right there, we could chop off many billions. We don't have to go up to Mars to pick up the stuff that we know is what's up there. It's biology. We already been to Bennu. That's billions right there. That's Bennu, and that's nothing more than a heart. These are the valves in the heart. You can actually see the actual valve. This is the big one here. And these are the other valves. And they went inside here, and they went down inside, because it's all dusted with the really blood cells, basically. And they went down, and they didn't expect that. And they went inside, and they grabbed muscle, and they ripped it right out and came back to Earth with it. And here is that muscle right there. There it is. They didn't realize they were going to go so deep, and they grabbed it up and they came back with it. And now they're going to, we got to study this for 10 years, decades we'll be studying this. No, I know exactly what it is. You do too. You've been paying attention. The sarcomeres is the same as this. That's a heart. They're identical, same thing. There's no difference whatsoever. And it's the same chemistry, phosphate layers. It's the blood, it's the sarcomeres. It's just what it is. And they cannot accept that. And here's psyche too. There's psyche. You see that one? This is what a heart is. You see this? You see that right there? That's the tendon. That's the tendon. These are the colors of blood. They went right up to that thing. This is what a heart is, and the top pops right off because it's called iron banding. I wrote the books on this stuff. I understand this better than anybody in the world. I studied this since there was this. I discovered this, mud fossils. And as a matter of fact, I presented it to Yale, and somehow NASA got involved, and they paid Yale to do a study, and they say, yes, this can happen, but only with slimy little creatures. That's another thing I want DOGE to jump into, is this thing with Yale. We got a lot of, they got a lot of money there. And that's a whole nasty story that we need to get into. But this is biology, and this is what's on Mars. There's more sarcomeres, and there's the Mars crab, which is an artery, and the vein is right above it. And all these little feeders feed into the muscle, which is these muscle sarcomeres. I have the exact same stuff in my shop. I have studied this inside and out. I alerted everybody to this in 2014 when they showed these pictures. And I said, oh, that's paradiola, you guys are all crazy. I said, no, this is interstitium. This is the stuff that's in your skin. All right, a little interruption here, but this goes right back to 2014 when they first landed Curiosity up there. They said, wow, we found fossils. Oh, they may have found fossils. And then they said, no, it's just all paradiola. Let's just go somewhere else. Forget that stuff. Let's not talk about all of these things that prove the biology, which I sent to NASA, and I said, you do have biology there. That's not pareidolia, my friends. That is biology. Then the next thing I know is Yale was funded by NASA to look into mud fossils. See, these are all over Mars too. These are the Mars blueberries. This is the basement layer of skin. That's the stuff that's in the skin that's tagged everywhere here and there. So your skin can do this and that, and it always comes back to where the balls are. Well, it's all eroded now, so they're just free floaters. Now, and that's on Mars. And here they are in Utah and Arizona, same stuff. They're all over the place. They're everywhere because there was skin of these giant creatures everywhere. This is the skin of something that is absolutely stunningly large. I'm sorry, that's just a fact, and you have to get over this. These balls are eroding out of here. They call them stromatolites. They're not stromatolites. They're nothing like this. I call them meatballs, because when they come out of there, they still have some good edible stuff on them, meat basically, and then the moss grows in it. The moss takes over, and the same thing's happening in Alaska. This is in the salt water, and they grow brown moss, which is basically built in to the body of these creatures. And that's the skin, exactly like this. There's no difference whatsoever. The eroding. What do you end up with? A big white layer, and then a red layer, and all the balls, which are the tough stuff, fall to the bottom, and all the red stuff ends up being mud. Well, guess what? That's precisely what we got there. No difference. All right, that's just what it is. This is the underlayment of the top level of skin. The white sort of stuff is powdery skin, and it turns into mud, this red, and that's what's left over. Now in the body, these are these tiny little balls. These are in us. You see, we got the same stuff. They're everywhere. But in these gigantic creatures, they were just gigantic. And I have stuff here that's gigantic too. And my stuff has been DNA tested and CAT scan. And it's no question it's what it is. And the people that did that should be rewarded. Jesse Grant and Associates and Helix Biolabs stepped up and I know they were assaulted for doing this, because academics do not like anybody will talk to somebody that has evidence. And I had the evidence, and they knew it, and they did their jobs. And Jesse Grant gets 7 CAT scans, 2D and 3D, no charge, because they knew the importance of my discovery. It didn't matter. That was 10 years ago. And the same thing with the DNA. That was 10 years. He looks Biolabs, and I know he got really whacked. And, oh, you can't prove that, all kinds of stuff. Well, let somebody else come up and prove it. I have the evidence. Let them stand up and do something. It's been a real tough 15 years, my friends. And the real disaster is that we've been paying for this and paying these people to tell us things that they should have had the ability to understand it wasn't true. Just not true. It was, as far as I'm concerned, it was nothing more than just looking for more funding. To say, oh, we have to look for another 10 years. They have this stuff embedded right here on Earth now. Refuse to talk about it. I have sent emails over and over, all over the place. Now, whether they got them or not, I have no idea. But nobody's contacted me back until I talked to Matt Haney up in Alaska, because I have information on Mount Spur, and I am a spur, so. And here's those moss balls up here in freshwater. You saw the ones, and they're all over. Same thing that's over in the United Kingdom. They're everywhere. This moss is built into the body of the creature. When everything erodes out and you end up with the balls, the moss just starts eating away at it. There's no roots here. They're eating the ball inside there. And I've explained this so many times. It's just very, very frustrating to just put it out and it just like vaporizes and nobody hears it. You know, I got 220,000 people on my channel. I get maybe 2,000 hits tops, and that's it. And the same people over and over. They don't. I'm not being helped literally by anybody that we thought was out to look for truth and try to give us truth in reality. And if they can't see what they see here and think that's a crater, that's a tube. That's a tube. These are valves. That's a tendon. Wraps around to muscle. That's a heart. You see that? That's the Mars Morse code. That's pinched together skin, pinched together, stretched. The balls end up being eroded because the straps are not quite as strong as the balls, and the rest is just floppy. It's collagens, keragens, and then these hard knots, which are the balls. One of them's just the floppy red stuff. Here it is right here. Hold on. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. All right, these are the straps. This is just floppy, gooey stuff that goes this way and that way, and these are bags of fluid. And that's what's underneath your skin, so you can squish it around a little bit, and it's supposed to come back to where it's supposed to, but you get old and it doesn't come back so well. These straps are getting weak. Now, that's just what it is. And that's up on Mars. Now, they explain this by pareidolia. Let's never talk about this stuff again. That's what we have for science now. This is the absolute disaster. That's why I'm a little wired today. I can't help myself. This is how light works. It doesn't go flapping like this. It spins in a circle. And light, my dipole electron flood theory, another thing that won't be considered by anybody, and I've been blocked at Fermilab. They won't allow me to speak. Because I found the particles Don Lincoln was looking for. He called me names and everything. And he's supposed to be a big hot shot at Fermilab. That place should be locked down and they just send everybody home. They're digging in the ground thousands of meters, or I don't know how far. Let's just say they're spending a lot of money there, which is totally wasted. I showed this to Don Lincoln over 10 years ago and been blocked ever since. You see that? Fermilab should be out of business right now. We did the muon neutrinos, electron neutrinos, created sterile muons and electron showers right here. We might be able to get free energy by just harvesting it here, strictly by using the Venturi and photons. These experiments were done and sent to Fermilab in 2014 or so. This is light, just as it's beginning to accelerate. Then when it goes into the full acceleration mode, here it is right here. That's light accelerating. There's nobody can tell me it isn't. And at this point here, this is a subatomic nuclear explosion. That's correct. Subatomic nuclear explosion. Photons of light exploding into their components, which is what I showed you in the beginning here. At that point, they explode. The black comes away from the white. What is that? That's fission. When something splits apart, it's called fission. When they come back together over here, and they do, that's called fusion. In the middle, we have raw, super white energy that Elon could use for his cars. We would walk around with a little lunchbox, because this creates thousands of times more energy when it's in its own white phase. compared to when the two of them are attached together. That's the strong nuclear force. If you can rip that white away, which is creating electricity, that's a generation of electricity, ripping the white. And then the white wants to get back to that black so bad that it'll go through those circuits to get that back to that black and drive your car or burn your whole body up. You grab a hold of that wire and you grab a hold of ground and the electricity comes in, you are fried. These are the particles they found at CERN and Fermilab. We found them here, but we used light. They used gigantic stuff, smashed them together, and then they got all this gobs of stuff, and then every now and then they'd see the tiniest ones that exist. Well, guess what? We started with these, and then we broke them. They did the same thing, but they have no idea where they came from. They say, we see these. A dark one that has fixed, never changed its size, yes, that's the muon. And that is dark matter, and that causes gravity. All the white stuff is attracted to the black. The black does not mind being on top of each other. The black will go right on top of each other, but the white will not do that. Well, the white will go in as tight as it can get to the other whites ones, but they push each other away. They have fields. The black is an attractor. That's all. It does not emit. It does not absorb, basically. It will be coated, but it will not absorb. It will not emit, and it will not reflect. The black, you just don't see it. The only way we could see it is because we put it on top of the white. You see? It's on top of the white. Otherwise, you don't see it. The blacks are all in here, too. Black stuff is all over the place. The only time you can see it is if it obstructs the white from coming to you. Now, sorry to be so excited, but hopefully we're going to have a voice that'll listen. I have made contacts for 10 years, more than that. 0 responses. Now, this is energy from electron showers. Look at that. It goes from here to zip. And this is when it went through the Venturi. The number of electrons is here. And then when it goes through the Venturi, you get the showers. This is the base track's shower maximum layer. Woo-hoo. This is energy. U means energy. It went from here up to there. That's 3,000 times from the bottom. If we could do that, we should be able to carry something like this around, like a little lunchbox. We could power who knows what with this. That's so much energy. It's it's just insane. I think I've just changed the whole world with what I just shown you. Everything we need to know is not known. We don't even know where we came from. We have no idea about the Earth. We have no idea about space. We have no idea about history. We have no idea about light. We have no idea about how anything is done. Chemistry is all different too. They're never taken into account the half-lives and the enzymes that do chemistry with the half-lives because they work so fast. Only an enzyme can make chemistry work in the life. It's nucleophilic substitution, invasion, nucleosynthesis. They can change the nucleuses and bump them up. It's called nuclear bump, I call it. And enzymes do this. It's life that creates these metals. It's not some gargantuan explosion. And it's God that created us. It's not some slime that evolved. We got a lot of work to do here, and I want DOGE to contact me, please, in every layer of science. My university, which is Mudfossil University, has taken science completely over. And I have more researchers that work with me than they do in any of all the other places. I have several thousand that are contributors. They're not looking for anything. They don't want to be paid. Give me some money, give me some money. They say, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? And I'm doing all my own research myself. So when I make I have 3,500 videos, something like that. So I go into every single area. And when they bombard me with, what do you think about these green mice? What do you think about that? What do you think about, well, let's look at it and make a determination, and that's what I do. And that's what we should do in science. It's not done that way now. They say, shut up, sit in the back of the class. Education's got to change too. Now, this was the book I wrote back in 2016. I wrote it earlier than that, but it's published in 2016, about Velikovsky. They destroyed him. I called it Mudfossils, Velikovsky, and Minds in Collision. And now we're going to have a full, complete reading of Velikovsky and Worlds in Collision. He had Worlds in Collision. I call it Minds in Collision now. So, and it's going to be an audio thing. It's going to go on forever because it's a very long book. But it's our history, because he did it. He did the true history of everything. They destroyed him and made him take his book off the bookshelves. That's how bad the academics really are. And it's time for all this to just wipe off the page and start over.